Much for your willingness to serve in this very, very, very important position at the Department of Justice. As the Attorney General of Rhode Island, I had the privilege of overseeing our domestic violence unit, which was one of the leading units in the country, and our domestic violence community groups are among the most accomplished in the country. So it's very important work that you're doing, and I wish you every success in it. Thank you so much for being here. For the candidates for the bench, I'd like to ask you all a question about juries. This is a question that I ask pretty often. Obviously, a jury is a fact-finding appendage of the court, but according to extremely knowledgeable people, all the way from Blackstone to commentators in our present day, it's actually a good deal more. It is a part of the American system of governance. It is one of the ways in which regular citizens, on occasion, have the opportunity to actually participate in government decision-making. And it is an area of government that is protected, really more than any other, against special interest influence. Juries are assembled from the public. They don't do two cases, they just do the one, so there's no point going back to them afterwards to try to curry favor or influence. If you try to mess with them while they're jurors, that's actually a crime. So we do our very best to come through on Judge Blackstone's description of the jury as the institution that is there to help give regular folks a chance against what he called the more powerful and wealthy citizens, which, since the Supreme Court has decided that corporations are now people, also includes powerful and wealthy corporate interests. Notwithstanding that, there's been a fairly pronounced effort that I have chronicled at the court to try to diminish and deprecate the civil jury, largely for that reason, if you subscribe to my theory that this is a Supreme Court that is highly beholden to those big corporate interests. But you will have much more direct experience of civil juries. You will have to see to their care and feeding, both figuratively and literally. And you will have to decide when cases belong in front of a jury and to encourage and support the juries when they are before you. It's not always everybody's favorite thing to get that jury notice, but my experience was that both as to grand jurors and to trial jurors, at the end, almost all thought that it had been a really terrific experience in their lives. So I'd just like each of you to make a brief comment on how and to what extent you will try to protect and expand the role of the jury in your courtroom. Schuyler.
Thank you, Senator. Within the last month, I've had the opportunity to thank and release the grand jury that appears before me, to convene the new one, and to take the jury return finding a defendant guilty in an extremely serious sex assault matter before the federal court. And I'm reminded each time of the important backstop that the jury provides between the people and the government, the important democratic role that those jurors serve, and how much they truly do appreciate it, even though it is a difficult sacrifice in their lives, particularly the extent of grand jury service. And I'll do everything in my power to ensure that particularly those cases that I have some control over, pending civil and criminal matters, get to a jury in an efficient manner if that's where the parties wish to proceed.
Mr. Pitts?
Thank you for the question. I agree that juries are a fundamental aspect of American governance, the American legal system, and liberty as our Constitution protects it. And if I'm so fortunate as to be confirmed, I will faithfully apply the precedents and rules governing the jury system.
Magistrate Schroppler?
John Adams said that representative government and trial by jury are the heart and lungs of liberty. And as you know, Senator, in the Declaration of Independence, that was the deprivation of the right to trial by jury was one of the causes of the American Revolution. To this day, it remains one of the few mandatory duties of U.S. citizenship, jury service. And so if I'm fortunate enough to be confirmed, I would proudly and faithfully uphold the right to trial by jury that's enshrined in Article 3 and the 6th and 7th Amendments.
Mr. Subramanian, and briefly, since my time has expired, and I'm operating now at the chair's indulgence.
Juries are vital both in the criminal and civil context, and Steve Sussman was the founder of the Civil Jury Project, and he well understood how important juries were, especially in civil cases.
Thank you for saying that name.
Thank you very much. Senator Blackburn?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and congratulations to each of you. I know this is an exciting time for you and your families, and Ms. Dahl.